Get the behind-the-scenes information on the breweries and beers you love with What's on Tap's Brewery Sessions.
What's on Tap podcast coming at you from Brewskival 2019.
Word.
What?
Huh?
We're here with Cigar City, Justin Clark.
How are you guys doing today?
Doing good, and you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Perfect weather. It feels like home.
This has been the best weather of any so far. It shouldn't be this nice this time of year in Sweden.
I love it.
So you flew in when?
We got in on Sunday. What beer can I get for you? Sure. And into Copenhagen, and we brewed with Tool on Monday, and then War Pigs on Tuesday. Cheers. And then been out here.
Busy.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't do anything on Wednesday or Thursday. The Thursday, the whole day was. I like your shirt.
I got it from your colleagues. On the first Copenhagen beer celebration.
Oh.
2000. He took it off.
Oh, that's
Just
awesome.
for me.
That is very nice.
Today I like it.
All right. Thursday was devoted to ride the ferry all day, drinking Tuborg and Underberg shots, and then we went out to Holy Smoke to get some barbecue. So a little taste of home. Yeah.
How would you compare Holy Smoke Barbecue to your home market?
I mean, they're bringing in all the beef products from the States, so I've had some great stuff. The pork is all, I guess, local or domestic to Sweden. How are you? Sure. But it was really great. It was the first time I made it out there. The beef ribs were huge and amazing, and I went into a meat coma. Oh, thank you. And then we came back to Helsingborg to have some beers at Barski.
Yeah. So this is your fourth time here?
I think the brewery has been here every time. This is my personal second time. I was here 2 years ago.
All right. So that's like the last time we were here as well was 2 years ago.
Say again?
The last time we were here was 2 years ago as well.
Yeah. So we just plan our trips around each other to meet up
Yeah,
here.
yeah. That's the whole reason we came. It's like, Justin's going to be there. We got to go back.
Thank you.
Oh, you're going to be at this beer festival as well?
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
Coincidence.
Yep.
So what is so Cigar City's bringing more and more stuff to Sweden these days?
Yeah, we are distributing a little bit. We've had some beers approved for the monopolies.
Yeah.
And cheers.
Even in the bars, we're seeing more Cigar City beers.
Good to hear.
Yeah, there's a wheat beer and a Goza recently that made it over.
The Margarita Goza?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be serving that a little bit later today.
Okay.
Cheers.
It was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's perfect for this weather. Very refreshing,
there it is.
low ABV. It's awesome.
Hey, just help me.
Yes, sir.
I think my happiest moment was when you released Marshall Shukovs at the Monopoly.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
yep, I'll just head over there and just bunker up.
So what else is coming to the Monopoly here?
Man, you're putting me on the spot.
I know. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, which one?
Yep.
Yep. To be quite honest, I don't remember. We just submitted a bunch of beers, and I don't know if the approvals have come back.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'd be happy to tell you guys, but I truthfully don't remember.
Are you finding it difficult to get beers into the? Do you find it difficult to get beers into the Systembolaget system, or is it kind of working, kind of smooth?
For the most part, it's been pretty smooth. We submit a couple, and we've been very lucky to get approval almost each time. Not everything has been submitted, or they've said maybe this is good for the next time, but they've already had it. So I don't recall any straight out rejections, which is nice.
Right.
We just want to make sure we're sending the right amount of beer so everyone can drink it as fresh as possible.
Yeah, that's really good to hear, because even breweries inside Sweden, some say they have a really hard time sometimes getting into the system and getting their beers in. So it's good to hear that, coming from the outside in, that it's working for you.
Yeah, we're it is tough to navigate at first, but once you kind of get used to the system, it's been all right for us.
All right,
As long as you bring more Marshall Shukov in, I'm happy.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, this is sort of the stout we're serving now is a Hunapu treatment, so kind of starts its life as a Zukov, and then Hunapu treatment, and then a treatment on top of that with the maple syrup.
That sounds amazing.
So the very root of what we have will be a flavor you'll enjoy.
So I'll have to try a little bit of that.
Yeah. How are you?
Anything else, or
us hear about the U.S. plans.
So what's going on with the U.S.?
So we've been expanding quite a bit. By the end of the year, we'll have beer available in probably about 40 states.
Yeah, you guys have had a really big expansion recently.
Yeah, we've finally have capacity to keep up with some of the demand, and we've been taking advantage of that. So it's been pretty great to find our beer all across the states.
Yeah, I've got friends in Texas, and they were like, "How the hell can you get Marshall Zukov in Sweden, but we can't get it in Texas?" I'm like, "We're just better, I guess." I don't know.
Spoken like a true Swede.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you hope? Are you trying to get into all 50 states and
to be honest, if it happens naturally and there's demand, and in the states, we're selling beer into chain stores, so if it's completing a footprint, we're looking to go there. But cheers, we don't like. It's not like we have a goal that just says we have to be in all 50 states. But we're very fortunate that our brand is still traveling in all those states.
So how does that put you on level with like Founders and Sam Adams and these other kind of large microbreweries that spread all over the country?
So we, as our collective, is the 8th largest producer of craft beer in the United States. And Cigar City on its own would definitely be in top 20.
Yeah.
Sure. So Founders and that is still much larger for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys are making huge inroads. I mean, it's really exciting to watch. Just like where you see a lot of craft breweries starting to close, or they just can't quite find their way to grow. You guys are thriving and expanding in new and exciting ways.
We've got a great team of people on all aspects of the brewery, from sales, marketing, leadership, production. How are you? Sure. So we've been really fortunate, and the consumer has been asking for our beer. I think it's because we're such a tourism state, so people have visited, enjoyed it, cheers, on the beach or at a theme park or what have you, and they're looking for it back home.
And Tampa is definitely becoming a beer destination hotspot.
Highlight? Sure. Yeah, we now have something like almost 90 breweries just in the Tampa Bay area.
Wow.
And a good percentage of them, a lot of the good ones are here
I saw.
visiting with us. And we have some new ones opening up that are doing great things, but I think the key to it all is making sure they're opening up and doing great beer. Yeah. We still got a lot of educating to do in Florida, and if somebody opens up and is making bad beer, that's going to ruin it for all of us.
I like this. All right, well, thanks for your time, man. We'll let you get back to pouring beer.
Yeah,
really appreciate you talking with us.
Make sure you guys all come watch the Tampa Bay Lightning when they play in Stockholm in November.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Go Bolts.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah, cheers.
What's Up That Podcast? Coming at you with Andreas.
Hi, Andreas.
Strange weather.
So you're quite new on the market, right?
Yeah.
Well, you as a person are not very new on the market, but your brewer is new.
Yeah. We released our first batch 2 months ago, so we're super fresh in the game. Obviously, very stoked and honored to be here. This very quickly as well.
Well, I mean, from your past brewings, you definitely earned a spot here long ago.
Yeah, it was fun. I've been here. I've been at this festival every time, actually. I love this festival. It's probably my favorite festival that I've been to. It's super nice.
It's very cool and relaxed.
Yeah, especially when it's nice weather like today.
We were very lucky this year as well.
Yeah, so it's fun.
So what made you start your own brewery?
Well, I've been thinking about it for quite some time. Recently just got unemployed, and I thought to myself, well, why not just start a brewery? Like I've been thinking about for a fucking long time now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're a group of people that had some different skill sets, got together and created this. So it's nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's your main focus with your new brewery, Strange Weather?
Well, we're a gypsy brewery, so we brew out of Amma. So we do a lot of clean beers, of course, IPAs and Berliners, stuff that sells well. And then what we dream of doing, what our aim is to create like a proper barrel program and where we can experiment with wild ales and sours and all I don't like the term sours, but like mixed fermentation stuff and experiments. Which are fun. Hey man. Yeah.
So you've been experimenting with mixed fermentation at home, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Quite some time.
Yeah. We've been discussing it for quite a number of times.
Yeah. It's something that has been interesting me for a long time, and it's what I enjoy drinking, to be honest. So.
Yeah.
And it's very challenging as well, so it kind of keeps me a bit on the toe and creative and stuff like that.
So name well, if you want. If you don't want to give it away, then don't. But name one beer that you would want to make.
Oh,
it's like ingredients, fermentation, style. What would you want to create?
Well, I really want to play around with traditional Norwegian farmhouse brewing, Kvike yeasts, and Norwegian ingredients. That's something that's been intriguing me for quite some time.
Yeah.
I really love the flavors that certain yeast strains give out, and fermentation time also is super interesting. And that's something that I really want to experiment more with, and also in combination with other styles and techniques and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice. And what's the plan for Strange Weather for the remainder of 2019 and in 2020?
So the plan for the 2019 is basically brew solid beers, get them sold, hopefully expand to different markets outside of Denmark as well. And then for 2020, our goal is to get a barrel program up and running.
Nice.
At least start on it and get some nice.
I actually found you last week in Malmö.
Yeah, we sold a little bit to Malmö. Hopefully we can send these new batches over there as well, and it's been good.
I mean, you have good connections in this area as well, and in Sweden in general.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you have connections in like Germany, Spain, maybe not.
Not a lot, but hopefully we'll be talking to a couple of distributors.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens, but hopefully we can work out some good deals. We'll see.
I'm sure it's going to work out great, because I mean the beers you put on here is amazing.
Yeah. So this is a homebrew I did a couple of years ago that we decided to bring back. So I was playing around with a lot of fermented soft drinks at the moment. So I made something. I made some soft drinks fermented with a ginger bug, which is just plain fermented ginger. I thought it worked really well. I liked the flavors, and I decided to try it in beer. And luckily, the culture actually eats through the maltose and everything like that, so it ferments down really well. So I decided to make a lemonade-inspired beer. So it's 4% ginger and lemons. It just works.
It's very fresh, and it's perfect in this weather as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an excellent, refreshing like summer drink.
Yeah.
And it's actually it's not high ABV, so you can have a couple of them.
Yeah.
It's a nice drink.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for
It's
making it.
one keg only, so
Exactly. So exclusive only here.
yes, made for this festival in general. So.
Maybe we'll see it again later.
If I figure out how to scale it up, yeah.
Cool.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Any closing comments you want to put out?
Go find our beer. Come check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can testament to that one because it's fucking delicious.
Thank you, man. Cheers.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for your time, man.
The
Session
yeast shop.
IPA.
Yeah, it's a IPA. It's
Yeah.
so good.
Hey, I'm Jeramy. Mathias. Nice to meet you.
I'm Stefan. Yeah.
Good to meet you guys.
All right. So you're with Commonweath Brewing from Virginia Beach.
Absolutely.
All right. And tell us a bit about yourself. I'm not familiar with Commonwealth at all.
So we are in a small old fire station in a beach neighborhood in Virginia Beach, about 2 blocks from the Chesapeake Bay. We are about 4 years old now. This Labor Day will be our 4th anniversary. I started the brewery focused on barrel-aged sours, but quickly kind of morphed into tons of different styles, and now we kind of do everything. Basically every major style category there is, we do it at some point through the year. We're 100% rotational beers. So we are always making something new and some new name. We're stoked to be here in Sweden today for this festival. It's our first time pouring in the country, and we have on tap today a Goza collab that we did with Brewskival. That's amazing. Raspberry, fennel, and lime. called duck diving. So it's tasting good, and it's a beautiful day. Glad to be here.
So how are you finding the Scandinavian beer scene?
It's actually pretty cool. I mean, I think I've met so many different breweries at this festival that I had never even heard of before, and everyone's been like so warm and gracious, and the beers have been top notch. So it's fantastic.
So what were your expectations when you came to this? I mean, come on, you're like Sweden. I mean, like, what do they know about beer? Are they going to be like?
Well, I thought the weather was going to be much worse, but it's actually
honestly,
fantastic.
It usually is. This is a miracle, honestly.
Yeah. So no, it's well, Helsingborg is a beautiful city. That's the first thing I noticed when I came into the city center. I couldn't believe it. We just don't have cities with this beauty in the U.S. In the same way. So that's what captured me the most. And then the warm, friendly people have been amazing as well. So I love it.
How long have you been here?
I've only been here about 4 days. I flew into Copenhagen, but I was here 2 months ago for about a week and a half, and got to go around a bit. And I love coming.
So you started out doing barrel-aged sours, right? That was your main focus.
That was the main focus, and
so what made you shift over to like the other types of beers?
Well, they're just beers. They're beer styles that take a long time to make, a year, 2 years. And my market is a beach market. It's a beach town, and so people are used to drinking lighter beers. They're used to drinking lagers and whatnot, and so I just kind of morphed to a bit of my customer taste, but still remaining loyal to what I really am passionate about, which was the barrel-aged sours. So we still have a thriving program with that, but we started making lagers, and we enjoyed that. We started making imperial stouts and enjoyed that, hazy IPAs, and so on and so forth. So I wouldn't say we're known for one particular style. We're known for trying to make all styles really well.
I mean, Virginia's really kind of exploded onto the beer scene. There's so many like world-class brewers coming out of the Virginia area.
Absolutely, it is. It's really attracted a lot of talent from around the country, and there's breweries popping up all the time. There's probably 12 new ones opening up within about 45 minutes of me, and my location. I mean, in just the 4 years I've been open, there's probably been about 13 or 14 others that have opened. So it's kind of amazing to see, and I love how everyone is helping raise the bar for the quality of craft beer. That's what I like to see is breweries coming in and doing well, quickly. It helps everyone to see that. So.
How have you seen the beer market change in the 4 years you've been open? I mean,
it's the consumer has gotten so much smarter and more educated in my market, at least, around craft beer. I mean, we were like one of the last areas of our country to like really hit the craft beer movement, and in doing so, sorry. I just suddenly had stage fright. What is that about? No, I don't even know what I was saying now.
So what did you do before you started the brewery, and what made you actually like quit that and start the brewery?
Yeah, so I was a home brewer for about 11 years. I was a structural engineer. I used to design nuclear submarines. Oh, cool. Believe it or not. Yep. And I did that for about 6 or 7 years, and then I started doing software projects and designing and developing cloud-based applications. And, anyway, just a lot of different tech work I did over the course of my career, but home brewing started over 11 years ago, and I fell in love with it immediately. I mean, literally in the first beer I made, I thought to myself, I'd really like to do this for a living, And fast forward 11 years later, every room in my house is a fermentory. No one can take a shower because you have to move the fermenter. So it was, my wife was like, we have to get this stuff out of here. And I said, I want to start the brewery. And she said, okay, let's do it. And so we started looking, and she found the old fire station that was available. And our city didn't allow breweries in a business zone area, and so they said no to us, and I was extremely bummed because that was the perfect location. So I just wrote them a letter explaining the economic impacts and benefits that other cities have seen with reusing old properties like that for the purpose of brewing, and a month later, they came back and said, yeah, we actually would love to do this, and we're going to revise the zoning ordinance, and we'd love to see you, submit an application. So we did, and we were the first brewery to operate under that, and it's been a huge success. We're growing. We basically bought our whole block to help us expand and grow, and the response from the public has been amazing. And like I said before, their education level has just grown. I mean, when I served IPAs in wine glasses for the first time, people were like, "What is going on?" Now they expect it. Now it's no good without a proper presentation. So anyway, it's a fun business. Absolutely love the people in these markets, and I'm just really happy to be a part of it all.
It's really weird. Like every time I go back to the U.S., it feels like people have become just so much more educated and knowledgeable about beer to where, I mean, who even knew what the fucking Goza was 5 years ago?
I know.
And now everybody makes a Goza or Berliner Weiss or some other obscure freaking beer style.
And everybody's always looking for some new ingredient, some new concept to bring in. I really do a lot of cocktail-inspired beers.
Yeah.
I also try to take inspiration from just the culinary scene in general. So if I taste a food or a dessert and it's got a unique set of flavor combinations, I'm all about trying that in the beer.
Yeah.
So the fennel beer that we have today, I mean, it's raspberry and fennel. That was inspired by Marcus, actually, at Brewskival, had sampled something in that at a meal he had, and he was talking about how amazing it was. And I just said, why don't we put that in a beer? And so that's how this one came.
We were talking earlier about the fact that Sweden has this raspberry licorice candy that everyone absolutely loves. But the problem is they go for that raspberry licorice candy, and the difference here is the fennel has this vegetably organic tones to it.
Yeah.
I think just make it more delicious, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Whereas the other version's always a little too syrupy and sweet.
Sure.
So you're getting the licorice and the raspberry, but in a much more complex, organic kind of way. It feels like.
Right.
So, important question. In the fire station, was there a fire pole, and do you still have it?
If I had
And do you use it?
By the way, the more important question is, tell me all of your nuclear secrets.
If I had $1 for every time someone asked me for the fire pole, I would be a wealthy man.
He asks me all the time for the fire pole. I'm like, look, man, I don't like you that way.
But we can be friends.
Yeah. He's like, quick, to the bat pole. I'm like, stop it. Control yourself.
Oh man. Yeah, the old station was it was built in like 1962, I think, and it was a volunteer fire station. So all of these families that lived in the community, multi-generations would work there, and they did a lot of good for the community. But when it came time for them to get a new facility and move down the road, they were really nostalgic about the old building. It was so cool when we opened to see everyone come in. I mean, I had women coming up and hugging me and crying because they're like, I grew up here. So it's really great to bring that facility back for a community purpose, have it be a mixing pot for everyone. So it's been a fun ride.
And what's your plans for 2020?
2020, we have bought a retail center that's next to the brewery. We bought that. We're expanding into that, growing our barrel aging capabilities and facilities. We're going to be doing quite a bit more festival work, lots of collaborations on the docket for 2020, and we are actively looking for a second location to open a different concept tap room and brewery in another part of the state.
Perfect, thanks.
Yeah.
Any closing comments you want to add?
No, thanks for having me out here, and I appreciate your time, guys.
Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next year.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the duck diving is so good. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right. Cheers.
It's fucking blistering.
Yeah, really.
It is. It's crazy warm outside. So welcome to What's on Tap podcast. So you've recently introduce yourself and where you're from.
My name is Mats, and I'm the head of sales at Finn Brewery.
Right. And you guys just recently had your own little mini festival a few weeks ago.
Yeah, Finn, Friends and Family, as you know.
I do. I volunteered there. It was one of the few...
oh, yes, you did.
I like to volunteer a couple of times a year at different beer festivals, and that was absolutely wonderful. I had a great time.
Yeah.
And how'd it go?
It went really well, actually. I think we had 650 perhaps visitors, and this was like the first time we did it. So, and we had 10 breweries, and the lineup was pretty good, actually. It was a lot of really nice breweries.
Yeah.
So we were quite happy with that, and we haven't got any negative feedback yet.
Honestly, it was so smooth, and everything just kind of flowed really, really well. It was really, really good.
Yeah, thanks. Actually, we're doing an interview here, so Petter, you're perfect. He's actually one of the founders of the Finn breweries.
Oh, okay, perfect. Even better. Yeah, bring it in.
Excellent.
Step in. A little closer. Yeah, there you go. Well, not so close, but all right. Yeah, that's fine.
We're just changing positions.
Yeah,
that's fine. That's fine.
It's a bit of a twister game.
Yeah. It's like right foot red, left hand yellow. It's all good. So, what made you guys want to do your own kind of little mini beer festival?
Actually, a couple of different things. One, it's a lot of fun.
It is,
and we just want to bring happiness to people. So that's one thing we can do to bring happiness to people. And also, we have a little more than 800 shareholders in the company.
Oh wow!
And so we do actually, I think 822 or
something like that.
Whatever, and to keep them, drinking beer and eating food and happy, and we're going to pay for all of it. That's pretty expensive, actually.
Yeah.
So what we wanted to do is we wanted to initiate sort of, a small fee for that from them as well, but still treat them as VIPs. So our deal was to actually to like make a better offer for them. So the lineup with 10 breweries. Really good breweries, by the way, and both mainly Swedish, but also like Brewdog, for instance, were there.
It's like one of the few Brewdog events they've actually done in Sweden.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't really do festivals, so that's quite interesting.
And also Stigbergets.
Yeah, Stigbergets, always great.
They're here today at the Brewskival, and they don't do a lot of small venues like that, but they did ours. So that was pretty happy with that. And also we did a collab the day before on Friday, which is coming out later this year, perhaps, or after the New Year's, maybe. Okay. We'll see what happens.
So how long is anything about the collab you did with Stigbergets? Like what style was it?
We haven't actually, made that public as of yet.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. So that is coming along, and we'll see when we release it.
Yep.
So how long has Finn been around?
Sorry?
How long has Finn been in the market?
Around. We started homebrew around 2010, so 9 years ago. But then, we brewed at home, and then we got that brilliant idea to start our brewery. So nearly 6 years ago, we had our first commercial brewery. Maybe 5.5, 6 years ago.
Yeah, I really feel like, especially in the Skåne region, you've really penetrated the market, because I find you in a lot of restaurants, a lot of bars, and you just seem to be growing and growing and growing.
We are one of the biggest here in Scandinavian area. I think it's only Brewskival are bigger than us here.
Yeah.
All right.
But I think Brewski is growing more in the States, I think.
Yeah.
Than they are in Sweden right now.
Yeah. Well, they've taken more of an online or national approach going forward. Yeah. So what's been what drives you guys? What are kind of like your style, and what do you like? What are you bringing to the market?
Well, we have two different kind of product lines. We have the standard beers that we do that are balanced beer, and we sell a lot of those. So that's our bread and butter, basically. Mm-hmm. And then we have Derail. And we named it Derail because of our address in Landskrona, which is Barngårdsgatan, which is like the, what's the English word for that?
It's like a train station, kind of off the train station.
Exactly.
Kind of
yeah. When you kind of change the wheels and stuff on the trains.
Yeah.
So that's like, it's like a play with words. And in Derail series, we do a lot of collabs. For instance, Stigbergets is Derail and so forth. And the beers that we make ourselves that don't really fit into the standard beers.
Yeah.
We have 6 standard beers.
Yeah, the Derail series has been really interesting and exciting. I've tried a couple of them and really liked them.
Yep. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Do you have any other interesting collaborations lined up for 2020 or for the rest of 2019?
Well,
Well,
Yeah,
we have one barrel. We have one beer that's already brewed that is barrel aging at the moment from one quite good brewery here in Sweden.
Yeah.
But we'll decide when it's ready from the barrels. Maybe next month, maybe in a year.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Then we had a Stigbergets also coming up here.
I mean, we have like a marketing plan, so I think we're going to kind of stick to that. But there are more things coming.
Yeah, for
I can
sure.
assure you, yeah.
So, as a brewer, how have you seen the beer market change and evolve in Sweden over the past 9 years? I mean, that's a long period of time.
We can see that a lot higher interest for people, but also there are a lot more breweries. So it's been just the last 2 years have been much harder because a normal restaurant 5 years ago they had the Carlsberg beer and then they had maybe 1 or 2 local brands. But now those restaurants say yes to everyone, and they have 2 beer from each. It means that even if people buy more local beer, it's less sales for each brewery at that restaurant. So a little bit harder market now, and you need to, all the time improve to be better and improve to say you cannot say, hey, I'm a local brewery to sell your beer. You need also to be good.
Yeah.
But also, it's a lot more interest and it's a bigger market now, but there are so many good breweries now and so many breweries that have improved the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So,
Basically, the general quality of beer in Sweden has risen. I mean, it's a very steep curve upwards. The quality is so high in Sweden today, and I think we're ahead of most countries, actually. I think.
For sure. Yeah.
I think it's funny to see like how many breweries have actually like been introduced to the market and the quality that you see from all those breweries.
Yeah.
Like it's generally a pretty high quality from a lot of breweries in Sweden.
It is.
But of course you have like a couple of them, but I mean it's mostly like a handful of breweries that are not going to cut it.
Yeah.
So you can see quite early from the start that, I mean, they're new, of course, they might have some like childhood disease thing. They might grow into it, they might not, they might drop out, they might fall out of the market. But I mean, generally in Sweden, you see a lot of breweries that start up and they do high quality beer from the start. And then, I mean, it becomes a very competitive market at this point.
It does. I mean, brands or beers as such become more and more generic. So you have to actually, build your brand professionally. That's becoming more and more obvious in the market today, and it's because of all the competition. All these brewers, I mean, I don't know, 450 or something like that, and the quality is so high. So it's really about getting the expansion abroad, exports, getting into the stores in Sweden, Systembolaget, of course. But mostly, I think that the big brands, I mean, the companies that are the brewers are a little bit ahead of us, like Brewskival and Poppels, Dugges, and so forth. I think a lot of them actually grow in their export market. So that's pretty clear as well. So branding is becoming more and more important, actually.
So what is the plans for Finn in 2020?
Oh, just to keep on growing.
Continue to be better in every aspect.
Spread the love and have a lot of fun and make
as long as we
wonderful
always
beers,
improve and always try to improve and try to be better, and we will have a great future.
And trying to let we're trying to let people know about it. The Finn friends and family. That's one thing. A lot of marketing and stuff like that, but attending these things and talking to you guys.
Of course.
A lot of stuff like this. Really letting people know about us, and that's kind of key issue there, I think.
So is the festival coming back next year?
Oh yeah, you bet. We're doing it again. But next year it will be in Landskrona at our brewery.
All right, that'll be nice.
Yeah. That'll be good.
How many breweries are in Landskrona?
Actually, there are
4. Which I mean, Landskrona is not that big of a place. That's kind of crazy.
They have Biggie and Finn, and then it's 14-13. They're really small, and they are brewing at our place. And then we have at Ven. There's one restaurant there that got a home brewing equipment set up with all the permissions. So they have one tap with their homebrewed beer.
Now we're talking like real micro brewery.
The nano brewery market.
And sometimes I don't have time to brew, so sometimes during the year you can find one tap with their own beer at their place. But they have the permission for the home brewing equipment.
Well, that's
cool.
So guys, should we drink beer now?
Let's drink more beer. All right, guys. I really appreciate it. Hey, Thomas. Welcome to What's on Tap podcast.
Thank you, thank you.
And introduce yourself.
My name is Thomas Fransson. I'm the head brewer at Malmö Brewing Company in Malmö, Sweden.
I know, the best brewery in all of Sweden.
Yes, some would say, I don't know. We try.
You guys are just cranking out so much stuff, and it's just incredible. Like, from where you've started to where you are today, it's a real journey. I mean, it
is, yeah.
It's really become one of the beer destinations of Sweden.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we do our best. We do our best not to get bored and to always put some new beer on tap for our guests and all that. So keeping it interesting, that's, never boring.
Well, you're definitely not that.
How did you select the beers that you were going to bring to Brewskival this year?
I mean, it's always a struggle because you want to put forward the best beers you have on tap or have available. At the same time, you want to make some interesting because I mean, there's so many brewers. This year is 100 plus brewers, and everyone's bringing 6 kegs. So how do you bring something that's not, what the guy next door to you are pouring? So this year we just went bananas with treatments and tried to make interesting beers like the cheesecake. And yesterday we had a marshmallow porter served with marshmallow, mini marshmallows on top. Yeah. Got to make it Instagrammable, right?
Of course, yeah.
So I mean, it's just and also looking at the weather. I mean, we're spoiled in that way. The local breweries, because we get to kind of wait to the 11th hour before we pick what beers and all that. So I don't know, coincidence and hard work, a lot of herbal teas and meditation.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what most people do.
Yeah. Strawberry cheesecake is fucking amazing.
Thank you.
It's weird. Like you can almost taste like the crust.
Yeah.
There's like that weird grainy, the malts kind of build in the back, and you're like, oh, I get the graham cracker crust like perfectly.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's such a mind fuck. We're so stoked that we managed to capture all those flavors. And
can you share anything about how you made that beer?
I mean, we can share. It's a pretty straightforward recipe. It starts as a kettle sour with a bunch of lactose and vanilla, and that's just grain selection and a couple of other secrets that we borrowed and gathered from our trips, mainly to Florida.
Yep.
Those guys from Florida, they're the kings of these
kings of adjuncts.
Yeah, I think Joshua Garman at Hidden Springs used the term pastry sours.
Yeah,
I think that's.
We tried the Brondo, the Thirst Mutilator earlier.
Oh yeah, that's
was an amazing beer.
That's a beer we stole from them. They're good buddies of us, and we just said, hands down, we're gonna steal this beer and bring it back to Sweden. And but they're good guys. So whenever you're traveling to those areas, you get so many influences, you get so many ideas, and there's also the techniques and all that. So we're trying to kind of import some of those things and implement it to our own brewing, at the same time making it our own. But
I'm a little disappointed that Bouncy Bar isn't here. Oh my God, that's the best goddamn beer.
Thank you. Yeah, we had a discussion about that. We've been bringing like a Deja Food, Bouncy Bar, those pastry stouts for the last 3 years to Brewskival. Also been bringing those beers to every other festival. So we kind of felt it would be kind of nice not to bring an Imperial Stout and not be either stout or hop focused. So just focus on the Berliner Weisses or Florida Weisses and those kind of beers. So to us, it's kind of an experiment, I guess. We're known for our hoppy beers.
Weed is, I mean, that's probably the beer that you're most known for.
Oh yeah,
that and the cacao porter.
Those have been our I don't know, flagships, but they've helped us tremendously.
But it's nice to see that you're now bringing out like the Florida Weiss style as well, and I mean you're doing it excellent.
Thank you.
I mean, for the ones that we tried today, it's amazing, especially that strawberry cheesecake.
I'm nodding on camera. I hope you guys hear that.
It's like, yes, you're right. They are amazing.
Thank you. It's, I mean, we're honored to be part of this festival, and whenever anyone gets an invitation to a festival like this, you got to bring your best beers, and this year we felt confident enough not to depend too heavily on our hoppy beers, or still, I mean, we have an IPA and all that, but we're having fun.
Yeah. So has it been hard to switch your focus a little bit from like the hop forward beers to like the Florida Devices style?
Yeah, to some degree, I guess. It's I think it's been harder on some of our regulars because they've been getting less and less of the more traditional West Coast styles beers. But to me, it's like being a chef. If you, I started making beer 05 or something, 05 or 6, and I was heavily Belgian and West Coast inspired at that point, and I've been kind of keeping that line all the way through, and just to kind of accept that there's other ways you can do the beers now, and play around with so many more ingredients and styles. I'm having a lot of fun, actually, to be honest. Some people say we're only doing it for the customers and for the hype and all that, but in my honest opinion, it's a lot of fun. I mean, me coming from a chef background, the other brewer Eric, he's a baker, so he's he knows his way around the pastry kitchen and bread baking. So for us, it's finally a chance to kind of experiment with something more unordinary.
You must have a very interesting exchange when creating a recipe, you two.
Yeah, I mean, you would be surprised. It's not really that interesting all the time. It depends on either some of us come up with an idea and we try to figure out how to do it, but most of the time it's pretty much like freestyle brewing, and we might decide on doing something that we know we're going to take in this direction, or otherwise it's just we know that this works really well and we need beer, so let's just make it work. Let's put some hops in it that we know work well together, and then if we get a crazy idea in transit from grain into glass, then let's just explore. So
what is it that, I mean, you've been in the brewing game for a long time now, so what is it that drives you now that the brewing scene has changed quite a lot?
I think it changed, and I think that's what's making it interesting, keeping it fresh, because if you were doing the same things over and over, I'm not the person to do that. I would be a pretty terrible production manager or something, just making the same 2-3 products day in and day out. So this fits me really good.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm always impressed by Malmö Brewing, and you guys are putting out so many beers on a regular basis, and it's always really exciting to see what you come up with next. And I've really enjoyed the evolution of Malmö Brewing over the years, and seeing what's going to come next, how you're going to influence the market in different ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Taproom has become one of the beer destinations in Sweden over the past 3 years?
Yeah,
4 years.
Maybe. We've also had a lot of help from the fact that we're so close to Copenhagen. And whenever brewers fly into Copenhagen to do the Mikkel Beer Fest celebration and all that, and also visitors, they tend to take 30 minutes away out of the day and get on the train, go see us, and we're super thankful for that. I think that's been a big factor in just the fact that.
My only complaint is that you don't open till 4 on a lot of days. So I'm kind of like, come on, Friday, 1 o'clock. Come on, let's just meet halfway.
It's something that we been toying around with for years. Sometimes we do open up early, but it's always, if there's going to be 3 guys sitting down for 3 hours drinking beers.
Yeah, it's not really worth it. I get it. But
so we try to keep everyone happy as best as we can with the opening hours and all that. Yeah, we close at 3
and you're honestly one of the last places to close in Malmö. That's just really appreciated because that means when everyone closes at 1, it's like, oh, Malmö Brewing, let's go. And you guys are still open. So it's really, really, really appreciated.
Yeah, you don't have to drink shitty beer.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've got like, what, 40 free taps?
Yeah, 42 taps.
42 taps.
Yeah, and then the bar manager, Christopher, he's doing amazing work of curating like sours and a lot of imported special products and all that. So, I mean, you usually find something interesting there, unless you I don't know, drink 25 beers a day.
Well, I know a couple of people that they live there. Yeah. I'm kind of like, come on, guys, you should really
rotate.
Do more with your life. But but you recently had a tap takeover from Collective Arts, and you did Evil Twin tap takeover, and it's just been like really exciting to see these beers coming into the Swedish marketplace that wouldn't ordinarily make it there.
Yeah, that's something. Especially Christopher has been a huge part in that, and we feel kind of we're very happy to be a dot on the map, so to speak, because that means that we can also get more of those beers into Sweden, because it used to be that you have to go over to Copenhagen to any other amazing places in Copenhagen. But if it's a Wednesday evening or something and you don't want to get on the train and do all that thing, so just be able to be one of the places in Sweden that can actually have those beers on tap, or that's going to be something that we're continuing just to develop those.
Well, you're doing great stuff. Really appreciate you being on the show and taking the time out from the festival to
thank you
talk
for
with
having
us.
me.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it,
guys.
All right. So today, last interview of the day, we are joined by
Ollie from Stigbergets Biggie in Commonweath.
Yeah, congratulations. And so where are you from originally?
I'm from a town called Huddersfield in the UK. It's kind of near Leeds in West Yorkshire. If you don't know that area, it's near Manchester. It's like...
Alright. So how did you end up in Sweden?
Well, the brewery I'm currently working for, Stigbergets, they've just opened a production facility, like a 50-hectare brew house kind of thing. They made a big step up from what they were used to be brewing at. And my old job, I was working as a brewer at Beavertown in London, where I was been 3-4 years working with that kind of size brew house and everything, and they were looking for someone to help make the step up. So that's where I knew the guys already, we chatted, and it just kind of happened.
Well, Beavertown's been through a tremendous transformation recently.
It's been fucking insane. When I started, we were brewing maybe 4 times a week max. And right to my left, we were brewing 4 times a day, every day, like Saturdays, Sundays, everything.
Wow, that's fucking crazy. And so now you come to Sweden and you're kind of reestablishing Stigbergets because Ola left.
Yep.
And so you have that mantle to take upon, and how does that work for you?
He's fucking big boots to fill. Like, Ulla's beers are absolutely fantastic, but I mean, to be honest, it's mostly just translating what he started and making it to a completely different brew house, different location, different brewing style, but keeping the same flavor profile. Kind of make the beer the same way, but keep it the same, but you have to brew it differently to make it the same. If you kind of get me.
So how does that feel to inherit brewing legacy in that way?
Stressful.
Yeah.
Extremely. Because he's still absolutely smashing it out at OO and everything. And honestly, I'm always just kind of very self-conscious. Oh my God, this just doesn't taste as good as it should do. And I think I feel less stressed about our one-offs and our new beers, where it's just us on our own. But all of our previous legacies that we have to keep going, I don't know. I just feel like they're just. It's hard to keep up with he set the bar really fucking high.
Yeah.
Trying to keep the standard it's hard.
Yeah, but now you're bringing your own flavor to the brewery. So what is that like? Well,
it's quite fun. I mean, it's kind of a mix of, because I've worked at quite a few different breweries. There's Beavertown for a long time. Magic Rock was the one, my hometown brewery. It's 5-minute walk from where I grew up. Then there's we used to have a Purity for a brief time. It's an old cask brewery in the Midlands in England. So it's kind of seeing loads of different ways of doing what we do the same, but being able to kind of take all that knowledge, information, and kind of go, right, okay, so they do it this way, they do it that way. What I want to like pick and choose the bits and also try something new myself. And I think we've been like a lot of our specials have been coming out really pretty cool, to be honest.
Yeah. No, you guys are doing great stuff, and I'm always excited about Stigbergets and what you're bringing to the Swedish beer market. But so what is your particular influence on things? Like, what are you bringing to the brewery that's different from what's happened before? How are you redefining Stigbergets for the modern?
I think more than anything else, it's more the processing side, because when I was at university, I studied chemical engineering. So it's more like, because everyone, there's loads of people making beer like fantastically good, from like recipes, flavors, ingredients, whatever. But then my specialty is, I guess I can design beers, recipes and whatnot. But my specialty comes from all the processing side and how we can so you've got your good beer. How can we make it last longer? Yeah. How can we make more volume so more people can get it? And how can we polish it off, tidy it up, make it clean, rather than just being it's craft beer, it's small, it's we don't have to worry about things like consistency and whatnot. It's I want to kind of power through this. No, we should be making consistent. We should be hitting that standard OG, standard FG, making sure our volume's the same, our dry hop rate's the same, trying to make it so that every time you have a West Coast, it's not this is a good batch.
Stigbergets is almost kind of seen as a premium brand at this point. Because you guys do really great stuff. And you do the workaday accessible West Coast IPA, amazing A's, but at the same time, you do really amazing collaborative beers, and you put out one-offs that are just outstanding. So, how do you balance between being a premium brand and being a workaday brand?
Well, I think we're a premium brand. We're not to the point where we want to exclude anyone.
Yeah.
We don't we're definitely more expensive than the average when you look at Stigbergets or whatever. But we're not so expensive that you kind of have to think, shit, this is I could either buy one of this beer or 6 of those. That middle point is kind of our standard, and then for specials and stuff, obviously we're a little bit more pricey, but then it's kind of but we worked our asses off, we worked hard to make this super good, and it's not us charging for we just can get away with it. It's more it kind of cost this to make this, but we don't want to also take the piss and
no, completely understand. Yeah.
So we're trying to keep our standard as being more premium but more accessible, and then our specials as being maybe just more premium. It's less accessible, but not to the point where it's bollocks. This one beer cost me my budget for the week of exactly. Alcohol.
Yeah.
So
well, I gotta say, you guys have really just been killing it the last couple of years, and I really have really enjoyed what you've been putting out. And sure, the workaday beers like West Coast and Amazing Haze are really kind of what people know you for, but I'm always excited to see the one-offs and the experimental things and what you have coming up next. So what does 2020 look like for you?
We've got some really cool stuff hopefully coming together for next year. As far as collabs and stuff goes, I can't fully disclose what they are, but we've got some. I think we're going to be much like the festival we're currently at now. Brewskival being some of the most heavy hitters of coolest brewers in the world. We've got some hopefully. We're looking at doing something like Brygghuset again.
Yeah.
But with some American breweries. The ones that you really would drool at seeing coming over.
I cannot wait to see, because I love you guys. I'm always excited to see what you have coming out next, and you guys never disappoint what you put out.
We've got. It's been really exciting because for next year especially, we're definitely amping up on barrel aging. We never had the chance to do that because demand.
It's really, really new for you guys. So are you getting more like bread beers or sours or barrel aging or?
I think this year was the first year that we started doing Berliner Weisses and Gozers, but we're not doing kettle sours. We just do it all in tank. So we just pitch hot, warm wort, lacto in tank, and then like that's how we're souring. And because we have the production facility where I run just to get all the the big guys, the IPAs and everything, the crowd pleasers. The original site we're looking at changing more to wild and fun, but we've got even more stuff in the line. We've got, I think, by the end of this year, we'll hopefully have about like 30-40 barrels of like aging beer, which I'm not sure if that sounds like a lot or not. I mean, I'm used to working in places that have loads or way less, so it's kind of a fine tuning. But like, it does mean that we're looking as well at hopefully having, again, because I think,
there's a lot of experimental things coming on the horizon, basically what you're saying.
For sure. Yeah. And I think one thing we're definitely very keen on, given that like West Coast and Haze are like, say, premium but accessible brands, we're looking at kind of doing like some barrel-aged stouts and things like that are going to be kind of equally premiumly accessible. Like, we're going to hopefully have like more of an influx, maybe a Systembolaget listing of an imperial bourbon barrel-aged imperial stout, but one that we make kind of frequent enough and have it going through enough to be really tasty, but isn't going to cost you 200-300 crowns or whatever. It's going to be it's going to be, for what it is, hopefully really, bang for your buck, affordable, because we kind of I think it comes like from the ethos of being from Gothenburg, the working class city and everything. We want to kind of like push this idea of, we're trying to make the best beer we can, but we don't want to exclude anyone. We want everyone to be able to come in and enjoy our beer.
Yeah. No, for sure. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And
thank you for having
I really appreciate you being here, and I cannot wait to see what Stefan 2.0 looks like.
We're going to Stigbergets.
Stigbergets. Sorry, it's been a long day.
Sticky bees, as I call this.
Sticky bees. Stigbergets. Yeah. Congratulations and
thank you for having us.
And we'll talk to you again in the future.
Yeah.